All right, we're back. Another Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. So I decided to do something a little different this week. I have received a lot of questions, a lot of comments. So I decided to do a little Q&A. So I'm going to take things on a little different spin. But first of all, y'all, I love y'all. Man, I'm telling you, y'all give me... y'all are showing out when I tell you the love, the support, everything. Worldwide. I'm receiving it all. I'm trying to get to you all's comments between Facebook and YouTube, and that's where I got my questions and my comments from. Okay, from both. I've received so many from Facebook, so many from YouTube. So I decided to pull a few questions, a few comments, and we're going to get into that. I hope that you all enjoyed the scenarios of the traffic stops. My purpose with that was to make that pretty basic, okay? I want it in layman's term. I want it to where you can sit down with your kids and they understand what's going on. So I've gotten a couple of people say, well, you know, listen, I'm not teaching law enforcement officers. So I have to keep it basic. Yes, the scenarios can go different ways. We do know that, but I don't want it to get confusing. So I want to keep it kind of simple. We're going to continue on with those as well. We're gonna probably get into maybe some calls, officer being dispatched to call, different scenarios and things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. We're going to bring more scenarios out, but I decided maybe this week and next week to get into some questions, comments. So Anquinette 100 off YouTube, she stated, great commentary. I will be tuning in. My biggest concern are my children driving while black. They are very responsible, but I do worry about them. I want to educate them as much as I possibly can when it comes to encountering the police. My son is 15 years old. He's the youngest. He's about to get his driver's permit. That's hard for me because I know he's going to be on the road one day real soon. Too soon, by himself. Driver's license next year. I try to get as much information and knowledge as I can about our rights and citizens and want to give them the best tools possible to make sure they are safe. So I really appreciate what you're doing. So, I kind of spoke on this a little bit. It's kind of sad in 2020 that a mother and her concerns about her young black son. It's not right. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't, as a mother, your only concern should really truly be that drive safe. Not drive safe and worrying about the police. That has to stop. And that's what I want to do. I want to help. I want to help that. I want to help that change. I want to remove that negative stigma, in which is a fact, about law enforcement and how blacks are being treated. It's got to stop. We got Trudy Sturgedale. I constantly worry about being pulled over as a woman by myself and being asked to step out of the car. I've already decided I'm not going to do that. How should I go about that? So I kind of hit on this a little bit in the scenario, but not really in depth. So as far as now, I will say this, okay? The most important thing that we got to do is live through the traffic stop, okay? Live through it, okay? With that being said, an officer does have the right to have you to step out of the car, okay? Let's get that clear. The officer do have that right, okay? Now, using that just to harass people, now that's not right. But I will say, Trudy, live through that traffic stop, okay? You can always complain. And I know it doesn't erase or remove that feeling of being mistreated, but I don't want to see you killed on the traffic stop. I don't want to see you abused or excessive force on a traffic stop because you get an overzealous cop. Okay, so comply and live through that traffic stop. That's my suggestion. Okay, just live through that traffic stop. Chrissy S from YouTube. When pulled over and experiencing misconduct of an officer, do we have the right to request or demand a superior or alternate officer? I'm in Indiana. Chrissy, what I suggest is, if you feel like your life is in danger, okay, and it gets to that point, you do have that right. Ask that officer, hey, can you call your supervisor down here? If it's getting that bad, do so. You do have that right. Make sure you get a citation. That officer's name is going to be on that citation. But always make sure you get that officer's name and badge number, and then you can file that complaint later if you're done wrong. But once again, live through that traffic stop. You do have the right to ask for a supervisor to come now. Every department is different. But that supervisor should come to that scene if he's available. That should happen. Or he should make it his business to come. So, but yeah, you do have that right. You can ask that. Now, that doesn't mean that officer, he's going to get on that radio or call the supervisor there. But you sure can ask. We've got Connecting Atlanta YouTube. Can you please let us know when the tickets get dismissed? I would like to see how the court handles this. My court date is October the 24th. I want to say it's October the 24th. Nope, 27th. And so as of right now, I called and checked. The tickets, they're still there. They still stand. So I will be going to court to plead my innocence during that traffic stop. So I definitely, we still have, a little ways to go before court, but I definitely will keep you all updated on it. And thank you for your concern. We have Tasha Bryant. To be honest, I was wanting to go into law enforcement, but the way that things are going down, I have truly changed my mind. I can honestly say that I don't want to be a part of something like that. Don't get me wrong, I know there are good and bad cops, but right now I can't see myself being a part of this. A lot of people who murders like this, nothing happened. I applaud you for keeping a straight head and being strong. I am truly afraid of going forth with it. Any advice would be great. Thank you. God bless you. Natasha, I think I'm saying this right. I think it is Tasha Bryant. Let me tell you something. Don't allow nobody or nothing to stop you from what you truly want to do. If that's your dream, if that's your goal, be the best police that you can be. That's all I can say to you. And you're right. It's good ones and bad ones. And there's more good ones than bad ones. But it looks like everybody's bad. Everybody's not bad. So I encourage you to keep on track with your goal and your dream. And be that good officer. Be that one that brings about change. Do that. Facebook. I'm sorry. Tasha was from Facebook. So we have Nico C. On your first stop, what is my recourse when an officer says they smell drugs, just to use that as an excuse as PC to search an expensive vehicle in a sketchy area? The vehicle has no smell of drugs. No, I think he said nothing it speaks of or in the car. How do you fight that in court? Also, on the second stop. So what we're gonna let's break that first question down because it's kind of long, okay? So what Nico is asking is, how do you go about a traffic stop? The officer says, I smell drugs, and that's PC to get in the car. So with that being said, the smell of marijuana. Now, I'm speaking from Alabama, okay? I do understand that we got 50 states. And in each state, the marijuana law is different. So I'm speaking from Alabama, okay? Let's clear that up. Marijuana is not legal here, all right? So with that being said, if the officer tells you that he smells marijuana and you do not smoke marijuana, you haven't possessed marijuana, it's not in your car, never been in your car, okay? My suggestion to you, once again, make it through the traffic stop, okay? Make it through the traffic stop, get his name and badge number, okay? And file a complaint. Now, I guess you're asking, well, how can I prove prove that I don't do drugs or I don't, smoke marijuana, whatever the case is? Well, I mean, we can get a little clever. You work a job that you get random drug tests, maybe prove that, you've never tested positive for marijuana. May even, go get a private drug test done, immediately. I'm saying like not a week or two later, okay? I mean like immediately, to show that marijuana is not in your system, that you don't use drugs, That may help you in court, if you go to court and whatever the case may be. That's just my opinion, okay? It's that is one of those situations where that is the cop's word against yours. So that's kind of a sticky situation right there for you, unfortunately. But saying that you smell marijuana to get in somebody's car because you want to search it, that's not right. We know that's dirty and that's illegal. It's just that it is illegal. So the second part of his question was, how do you fight it in court? And I kind of answered that already. Then he gets into also on your second stop, meaning the scenarios. If I do have a firearm in the car, but I have a CCW, okay, concealment carry, okay, permit, okay. What am I to tell the officer at that point? All right, so let's answer that question. So he's talking about the second scenario, which when if you remember about me telling the officer that I had a firearm in the car. So we kind of went back, me and Nico went back and forth on YouTube about this question. Now if you have a overly zealous cop, he seems to be scared or just crazy, I would leave it alone. Don't even mention that you have a firearm in the car because at the rate that we're going in this country right now, you might get shot, and that's sad. So unless that weapon is right there where you have to reach, then you need to tell him. But if it's under the seat, in the console, and you just digging for your wallet, you're going to give him your license, just let it be. Now, if he gets around asking you, do you have any weapons in the car? Then at that time, yes, sir, I do have a weapon in the car, and I do have a pistol permit. Here's my permit, okay? And that's how you want to handle that. Then he says, he is already determined to get into the vehicle. I can see and feel his aggressiveness towards me. Will me telling the officer I have a weapon at that point cause him or her to pull her firearm on me, which could result in me being shot or killed? And that's absolutely correct. You got to use your head on these traffic stops. Okay? If you've been pulled over by a respectful, professional officer. Okay? And then the officers that nasty, dirty. Judge that. Use your head, use your senses, and make the best decision when it comes to that. We've got Bly the 50. What can you do to address the situation when a cop has violated your rights? Do you just do what he says and bring it up in court? Let's answer that first. Okay, what do you do in a situation when a cop has violated your rights? Now, that's big. Violated your rights. Your constitutional rights. Okay? That's a civil issue. Okay, so first you have to make that complaint. You can go talk to the supervisor that day, but I'm going to tell you, that may not go anywhere. It could, it could not. You have to go down there and make that formal complaint like I did. I spoke to the chief that day, and I also went and made the formal written complaint. That's what makes it formal, okay? So you do have to do that. Now, that's the first thing. But the second thing is you need to get you a civil attorney, okay? Because if you can prove, or that attorney can prove, that your constitutional rights were violated, that's a lawsuit, okay? So that's big. That's a lawsuit. The other thing is the fact that they teach them to have to get their numbers up. So let's which means the goal is not to protect and serve on the highway, but to find a certain amount of criminal activity. It just sounds wrong as a motivation. Okay, so I agree. Numbers up does not equate to harassment. It shouldn't. That doesn't mean, hey, let's go profile. That doesn't mean let's just stop every black person or brown person. That's not what that's supposed to mean. Okay? That just if a supervisor tells you, hey, your numbers were down, that may mean that there's no reason why in 8 hours that you shouldn't be making traffic stops, right? You shouldn't be coming in contact with the public. That's what that means, but that does not mean harass people, and it shouldn't mean that, okay? But we do know that's been going on. We just stopped blacks with nice vehicles. Just because you look like you're a drug dealer or you fit the description, that's got to stop. That's got to stop. Question. Are you police officers just as nervous about passengers as you are about the drivers? And what is expected of the passenger in these scenarios? That is an excellent question. That's why I say that one for last. That's a very good question. So, Blythe the 50 asks, I'm going to repeat this question again. Are police officers basically just as nervous about passengers as they are about drivers? So I'm going to break it down in two. Of course, right? We are humans. We are trained. But don't think that we don't have those moments, Don't think that we don't have those moments where it's like, oh man, whoa, we have those, okay? Passengers are just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the driver, okay? So with that being said is, the officer has to watch everybody in that car, okay? He has to know who everybody is, and he has to watch everybody in that car. For safety reasons, okay? For safety reasons. And then the second part of the question is, what is expected of the passenger in these scenarios? Now, I'll go ahead and speak on that. I'm going to do a scenario on that about what is expected of you as a passenger. Now, let me explain this. On these traffic stops, it's okay to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start getting into interfering with the officer's operations, now you're taking things to another level, okay? So with that being said, comply, okay? The reason that an officer runs your tag prior to stopping your vehicle is for a few reasons, okay? And then we're not going to get real deep into that, but it's to make sure that for me, I wanted to know who was that driver. Now, we do know that just because you're driving the car doesn't mean that you're the owner of the vehicle, but in most cases, the driver is the owner of the vehicle, okay? Not in all. So I want to know who it is that I'm approaching. I want to know if this person has warrants, okay? I want to know all that before I approach that vehicle. Now, the reason for the driver's license, once again, you want to see if their driver's license if they even carry them, they possess them, are they suspended, right? But I'm getting that information because I need to know who's in that car for my safety, okay? Because think about it like this. That officer approaches that vehicle and something goes bad in that, during that stop. The driver shoots, the passenger shoots. If I don't have that information, how can I relay it? How can we find you? Okay? So to the passenger question about what's expected of the passenger, if an officer asks for your ID or your driver's license, give it. You're supposed to. And the reason is for that officer's safety. Now, I'm not saying that, these, situations that you all may have encountered wasn't with a dirty cop, unprofessional cop, rude, maybe picking, harassing you. But I'm just simply telling you the reason behind an officer that's professional, that's doing his job correctly, right? I'm telling you the reason behind it. I want to know everybody in that car. That's why I'm doing it. Passenger, backseat, I don't care where you are. I need everybody's information in that car. Because let's say, for instance, the driver is compliant. The driver doesn't have a problem. You got a friend in the passenger seat. You got a friend in the back seat. You may not know what your friend been doing. You may not know that your friend robbed somebody or robbed a gas station a week ago and didn't tell you. He know he did it. He may know he got a warrant. So that officer needs to know everybody that's in that car. So give your information. Now you can do what you want to do, but I'm telling you, when you start getting off into the weeds with some of these traffic stops, you all just do the right thing on these traffic stops. And I'm not saying that these officers are not doing things wrong, but there's an avenue for that, okay? Make it through the traffic stop, live through that traffic stop, get the names, record it if you want to, whatever you need to do. But with that being said, just comply, okay? Because things are getting out of hand, and that officer, you don't understand what an officer do. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to educate you all as much as possible as to why certain things is happening. So I had the opportunity to, that's all of the questions, comments, and concerns for this week. But I had the opportunity to meet one of my Facebook friends on Friday evening. And she began to tell me about a traffic stop that she experienced. She told me I was speeding. She said I was speeding. I'm not gonna lie, I drive fast. And she said the cop got behind her, pulled her over. Well, when he walked up to the car, she said he had his hand on his gun. He asked her to roll down all her windows. Okay, so let me stop right there. The problem I have is, if you're that scared that every time that you stop a vehicle, you got your hand on your gun, you need to get a gun and a badge up. You need to give the gun and the badge up, or you need not stop nobody. Don't stop cars if you're that scared, right? The rolling of the windows, that's perfectly fine. Just like I explained to her, that's perfectly fine. The reason that he's asking you to roll those windows down is because he needs to be able to see in that car. Now, we know a lot of people ride with tinted windows. So at certain times of the day, and some of y'all ride with limos, so you can't even see through it during the day, but at certain times of the day at night, you can't see in those vehicles. So with that being said, if an officer asks you to roll your windows down, that's for your safety and his. You want to make sure he sees your hands. You want to make sure that he doesn't think that you're trying to do anything. So let your windows down. Let your windows down. That officer is doing that for the safety, okay? So then she went on to say that he told her, he didn't say my name is John Doe and I work for whoever. He didn't do any of that. He didn't say I stopped you because. He didn't do any of that. She said he asked her, "Do you have anything illegal in the car?" Now, that ain't the training I received. But it sounds like racial profiling 101 to me. Okay? You have anything illegal in the car, and where are you coming from? Not, let me have your license and registration. Not, this is who I am, and this is why I stopped you. Do you have anything illegal in the car? Now, that goes back to what? Training? That officer's he's probably been trained correctly. But he's just doing what he want to do. Just like the cop in the scenario. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is my area. That's got to stop. That's got to stop too. Now, she went on to say she didn't get a ticket for speeding. That he said eventually that the reason why I stopped you is because your tag cover. She said she has a tag cover on her plate. So I'm gonna get through the stop and then I'm gonna break that down. So she told me she got the ticket. She paid it. It was about $230 or $40 for a tag issue. Now, in Alabama, it is against the law for your tag to be obscured. Now that means partially blocked, somewhat blocked. If that officer cannot clearly see that plate, that is PC to pull you over. Okay, that's probable cause. That is PC to pull you over. That is against the law in Alabama, and you can receive a ticket for that. Okay, now that is where it comes into equipment violations. Now, the reason that I'm giving you all this in this video is because she told me she did not know what I'm about to tell you all. And I was outside yesterday washing my vehicle, and I met one of my new neighbors, and we got to talking, and he didn't know it either. Okay? So with that being said, I said, you know what? Boom. I'm going to tell the people about this. Now, equipment violations. Those are tail lights, brake lights, headlights, turning signals, windshield, tinted windows. All of that is what you consider a equipment violation. Now, with that being said, equipment violation citations, that officer should tell you if you get this fixed by the court date, then it will be dismissed. Now, what you do is on the back of that citation, if you're ever stopped for any of those, because we know, how many people know the brake light out? Unless, you get it checked at oil, express oil change, but let's just say in between times your brake light goes out, okay? You don't know it. You're not back there looking, right? So let's say you are stopped for that, okay? But you get the ticket from the officer. And now personally, I really didn't write them much, honestly, because you can go get it fixed. You get it fixed, it's thrown out anyway. It's just really a waste of piece of paper. So with that being said is, once you fix, let's just say in her case, we're going to take that traffic stop scenario. All she had to do was go take the ticket. Let's say she does have a black one. It's extremely dark and you can't really see the plate, right? All she had to do is take it off. Go find any officer, deputy in the county that she was stopped. Okay, it was Jefferson County is the county she was stopped. All she have to do is get an officer, sign the back of that ticket. That officer, he's gonna put his name, badge number, sign it. He's gonna go out there and look at whatever the ticket says. Okay, tag obscured. It's removed. It's fixed. It's a done deal. Okay, just the same as tinted windows. And I had my nephew. He was stopped by a state trooper because of his tint. His back two windows and the very back window. So what he did is he went and paid and had it removed. So the ticket was dismissed. It was thrown away. So with that being said, you all, I'm going to continue to try to educate you all your rights and also why law enforcement officers do what they do. Now, I'm not talking about being corrupt. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. But trying to help you understand why certain things are asked of you in a traffic stop and different scenarios like that. So I'm going to keep trying to help you all. Keep giving me the feedback. Keep dropping the comments. I get a lot of them, you all. I'm trying to get a little system going to maybe like at night, or first thing in the morning. I try to get through some of those comments that you all are sending and reply to them. But keep sending the love, okay? Please don't stop. Don't let up. You all are really driving me. Some big things coming up. So you all, stay tuned. I've got a couple podcasts and some positive, real positive things coming up. I've got a women's conference that a church is having, and they're gonna have a couple women speakers, and they want me to be a part of it. So it's definitely a pleasure, because hey, I'm nothing without God. So hey, I'm there. And guess what, y'all? It's on my birthday. So, but it was definitely, I was just taken away from what the mission of it is. So I said, you know what? I'm doing it. Even though it's my birthday, I am going to do it. I'm going to take some time out of my day and do it and be a part of it. So be looking for that. And I've got another something coming up. Listen, I can't keep up with it all. That's why I have my best friend. She sends me the reminders. She get me prepped up and say, hey, you got this coming up on this day. Get ready. Blase this. I've got, this film group out of the UK have been in contact with me and want some videos and want to do some things. So I'm going to keep you all posted on what I'm doing. I want you all to just don't give up, okay? Change don't happen overnight, but we all want change, and it has to happen now. But with that being said, we got to keep being positive, okay? We got to keep being positive. We got to keep moving forward. Keep sending me that love. And I'm going to tell you this. Before all of this, I am who I am. I have always been positive. I don't like a negative person. I don't like the negative energy. And I understand we get mad and we get frustrated, but don't let that become who you are. Don't let that become who you are. Everybody's not going to agree with what I'm doing. Everybody's not going to be on board. Everybody may not like it, but that's okay, because more you all like it than the ones that don't like it. And that's all that matters. I don't care about the comments. I see them, I delete them. If it starts out negative, I delete it. I don't even allow it to even go in my mind and to be processed. I had a supporter to say, you got a troll, and she's I'm not worried about that. She can troll on. That's fine. That's okay. Everybody's not for you. I'm learning that. Well, I knew it, but it's funny. I mentioned this on my, I posted this on my Facebook page, and I put on there that every day, every other day, I'll see my friend number change. Okay. Because if I'm maxed out on friend requests, y'all. So I'm slowly incorporating people in there, because when one remove me as a follower or stop following me, then I put somebody in there that really want to support me and follow me. So that's good. That's a blessing. That's actually a blessing, because God is all through this, y'all. He is all through this. He is all through me. And I'm going to always talk about him. I'm going to always give him the credit that he deserves. And from that day, my life has changed in nothing but a positive way. And when I tell you, he's blessing me so much to where I had to work, and I literally say this to myself: God, what you gonna do today? What you gonna do today? Because he is showing out. But that's what happens when you do what he tell you to do. That's what happens when you do what he tells you to do and you be obedient. And I'm allowing him to move me. I'm going to tell y'all something I did yesterday. I was driving. And this is something I have never done in my life. Never. picked up a stranger. So I was driving in something, and I always use the term something, but the Holy Spirit, because that's what it is. So we are so tuned. We are so in tune with each other now. It's unbelievable, y'all. I said, stop. I asked her, I said, where are you going? She said, well, I'm just headed up there to the hotel. She got in my car. I said, I'm gonna take you. She started crying. And me too, because let me tell y'all something. I'm a big teddy bear. Okay? My heart is just so good. You know what I mean? I'm bragging on it because it's a beautiful thing to have a really good heart. Okay? So she started crying and she said, God, thank you so much. And I actually just started, I guess you would just say, ministering to the lady, you know? And I told her, I said, we talked. And before she got out of my car, I said, can I pray for you? Because before I prayed for her, I told her, I said, it's the reason why I turned down this street and saw you today. She said, I know it is. She said, Lord, I've been going through so much in my life. She said, you don't know how you just blessed me. So we talked and I prayed for her and y'all, when I tell you something was there, I feel like in my heart now, this is just me, in my heart, that I don't know exactly what that lady was going through. But whatever it was, she needed me right then. And she needed the words that I gave her. She did. And she just cried. And she told me her name. And she said, don't forget about me. I said, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. She said, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. And I feel good about what I did. Because we got to start helping people, y'all. I know this Wisdom Wednesday, and I'm going from traffic stops to just, it's a fact though. We are living in a world that's so full of hate. So full of hate. There's no love anymore. Nobody's helping people like they should. You know? What did it cost me? What did it cost me to take her where she was going? Now, I'm not telling you all by no means to pick up strangers, but the Holy Spirit told me I had to. It was a reason for that. But we got to get back to loving one another. Being kind. If every day a police officer puts his uniform on, puts his boots on, his or her, boots on, gun belt on, vest on, and just say, I'm going to be kind today. Kind doesn't mean you're a pushover. Kind doesn't mean you scared. But just be kind. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's what I live by. Because I told that lady yesterday, we don't know where life gonna take us. We don't know. You can be up here today and tomorrow you don't have a thing. You don't have a thing. My mother testimony is coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna knock y'all off y'all feet. I'm gonna knock you off your feet. You know, but let's love. Let's love. I want you all to love, be patient, and be caring, and let's be positive. My quote, some of you all follow me on Facebook. Some of you all follow me on YouTube. But my quote is, change starts within. Change your mind, change your heart, change along with positivity equals progression. Think about it. If you change you. Change you. Don't worry about changing everybody else. Change you. Change the way you start thinking about things, the way you think about life, the way you look at other people, the way you think. Change your mind. Change your heart. Start being nice. Start being kind. Help somebody if you can help them. If you do all those things, Have a positive mindset. Bad things happen in life. Look at my traffic stop. I have turned this thing around in a positive way. And if you do all those things, progression gonna happen, right? Progression is what? Moving forward. A better you, a better it, a better whatever you're trying to do. It can't help but happen. Y'all, I got t-shirts coming. A lot of people have been asking for the t-shirts. I'm working on it. I've been so busy. I actually got the design now, y'all. So I'm making progression. Now I'm just going to find the company that I'm going to use for the shirts. Okay. So keep showing the love. Y'all showing out. And when I tell you, I read those comments. They mean a lot to me. I just received one today from Europe. Y'all, I'm just blown away. But y'all keep showing the love. Keep sending the prayers. Pray for me. Prayer is powerful. I love it. I pray for myself. But hey, thousands of prayers, baby. That's powerful. That's real powerful. So let's keep it going. I think next week I'll do another Q&A. So send your questions. If I don't get to your question, or if you have a really good question or comment, it may be better, especially if you want me to put it here on the video. You've got my assistant's email, okay? It's in the information. So drop that question or drop that comment in that email to ensure that I'm gonna get it, okay? Because I'm getting a lot of them and I try to take the time to go through. But anyway, you all share the information. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna keep this. I want to keep it layman's term, okay? I don't want to start losing y'all and getting a little bit too technical. I want to just educate, and that's the thing, okay? We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Much love. Hey, keep it coming. Thank you all.